Hello and welcome back to World 360. What's next in Pakistan after independents from Imran Khan's party managed to secure the highest number of seats? What did Donald Trump say about NATO that has rekindled fears in Europe? We answer these and more in today's episode. First up, Pakistan. Three-time former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's party failed to win Pakistan's recently held election despite alleged support from the army. Instead, provisional results showed that independents previously associated with jailed leader Imran Khan's party, PTI, won the highest number of seats. According to the numbers, Khan's PTI independents got 101 seats, Nawaz's PMLN got 75, Zardari's PPP got 54. Since none were able to secure a majority, there hasn't been a clear winner, which is why the major parties, PMLN and PPP, are reportedly in talks to form a coalition government. And this is the major question on everyone's mind. What's next in Pakistan? Well, there are two ways to look at it. First, how will Nawaz Sharif pave his return to power? And second, how will the Pakistani people react at a time of severe criticism over the delay in announcement of poll results and questions hanging over the conduct of the elections? Not to mention the country is in economic dire straits, which is only adding fuel to the fire. Now let's look at another aspect of the Pakistan elections, which is the people. To put it shortly, many of the Pakistani people have expressed anger over the conduct of the elections. Ex-servicemen in the country recently released a statement saying they are deeply troubled by the use of uniformed personnel to manipulate public mandate during the recent elections. There have been a string of protests in Balochistan against the change of poll results, with several activists and politicians holding rallies against what they view as alleged rigging in elections. Not to mention, the UN chief says he is continuing to monitor the situation in Pakistan post-elections and insisted that human rights and the rule of law be respectfully upheld. And to top it off, a private petition has been filed in the Supreme Court in Pakistan to declare the general elections null and void due to alleged violations of democratic norms and electoral integrity. Therefore, there seems to be a lot of fears of civil unrest parallel to the talks for a coalition government. How the public will react or act out continues to be a source of anxiety in Pakistan. As journalist Arifa Noor writes in an op-ed for Dawn, this election was a message to those who robbed the voters of their choice. She further asks whether the Pakistan army can risk continuing on a path where it is losing public support. For our second topic, we're looking at the comments made by former US President Donald Trump that has riled up US allies, especially in Europe. What this means ahead of the US presidential elections is also something we will delve into. So, what did Trump say? During a campaign rally in South Carolina on Sunday, Trump said he would not abide by NATO's Article 5 collective defense clause if an attacked ally was not meeting defense spending obligations. He further said Russia is free to attack any NATO ally that wasn't paying up. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, "Well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us?" I said, "You didn't pay? You're delinquent?" He said, "Yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You gotta pay your bills," he said. Now, this isn't all that surprising given during his presidency in 2019, Trump had talked about wanting to withdraw the US from NATO. But US President Joe Biden was quick to clap back at Trump's recent remarks, saying the comments were appalling and unhinged. Even NATO's Secretary General issued a statement saying NATO remains ready and able to defend all allies. But has Trump crossed a red line, especially as he seeks another presidential term? Well, as the Wall Street Journal puts it, this may give many Americans a reason not to vote for Trump again, even against a mentally declining President Biden. As a report in Le Monde described, Trump is thinking of NATO as a homeowners association in which the expenses are unevenly distributed, when in fact his remarks have rekindled European fears of what the global balance of power would look like if he returned to office. Trump and Trumpism has already been accused of eroding America's reputation as the leader of the free world, and these new remarks from Trump only add fuel to that fire. Not to mention Trump's camaraderie with Vladimir Putin amid Russia's invasion of Ukraine is another factor. The US presidential elections will take place in November this year, and Trump is currently in the lead in the Republican primary. It's very likely that if Trump emerges as the Republican presidential candidate, he could reiterate his previous demands, such as putting the US out of the WTO, the World Trade Organization, or sanctioning the International Criminal Court, or halting US aid to countries abroad. Trump's recent remarks prompted General Wesley K. Clark, a former NATO Supreme Allied Commander, to warn the lives of every American, both in uniform and civilian, are at risk if Donald Trump wins this election. So has Donald Trump shot himself in the foot, or will this be viewed as yet another provocative remark by the former president? Let's wait and watch. For our last topic, we're looking at Indonesia's elections taking place today. This is the world's third largest democracy, which means over 204 million people are eligible to go out to the polling booth. Outgoing President Joko Widodo won't be able to contest again as he can't run for another term. But the leading candidate to win the polls is current Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto, who is also the son-in-law of Indonesia's former dictator Suharto. In fact, it was in 1998 that huge protests toppled Suharto and helped usher in democracy in Indonesia. Therefore, Prabowo has long been a controversial figure. He was dishonorably discharged from the military due to alleged rights abuses. He was also previously exiled in Jordan and was once banned from the US on alleged human rights violations. But reports indicate that he's been able to rebrand himself ahead of the polls as a charismatic grandpa. Social media has been a big part of Prabowo's rebranding, especially with Instagram, on which he has over 10 million followers. It's similar to what we saw in the Philippines election last year, during which Bongbong Marco, the son of a strongman dictator, leveraged TikTok to gain public support, especially from young voters. But apart from this, Prabowo also has the backing of popular incumbent Joko Widodo. When Widodo made him defense minister and included him in his cabinet, it gave Prabowo some credibility and some visibility that seems to be paying off now. Not to mention, Widodo's eldest son is running on the same ticket for vice president. Thanks for watching. This is Pia Krishnankutty for ThePrint.